Top 10 Happiest Countries in the World. Happiness may be a tough issue to live with, however, one initiative in the United Nations has been making an attempt to work it out. Once a year since 2012, the UN Sustainable Development Solutions Network has printed its World Happiness Report, a study that examines the connections between happiness and development, all whereas encouraging policymakers to put additional stress on the previous. Browse on for the list of the 10 happiest countries in the world, and who knows? Perhaps simply daydreaming about visiting these countries can offer you a lift of happiness. 10. New Zealand. New Zealand has had one in every of very cheap rates of COVID-related deaths throughout the pandemic, cementing its spot within the high 10. Even while not that point stamp, Kiwis are a splendidly happy and friendly bunch that stems from satisfaction in each workplace and social sphere. 9. Israel. After placing 12th last year, Israel has finally broken into the highest 10 in 2022. The country's response to the pandemic instilled heaps of additional government trust among voters because it was one in every one of the primary nations to success immunize an outsized share of its population. Israel conjointly happens to be one of the healthiest countries in the world, with a very cheap range of diet-related deaths, high cholesterol, kind 2 diabetes, etc., in the entire world. 8. Norway. There's not too much to complain regarding in Norway. The combo of a well-integrated government welfare system and a thriving economy engineered on accountable management of its natural resources, good riddance, fossil fuel-powered cars, means only a few are left behind, and therefore the feelings of social support, trust in government, and economic well-being that come back from that each one contributes to overall happiness. 7. Sweden. An emphasis on social equality that's engineered into the education system beginning in kindergarten, 16 months of paid family leave that may be split between a couple after a new child is welcomed into a family, and free daycare conjointly build Sweden the simplest country for girls, per a separate study. Basically, stress on work-life balance results in happier people. 6. Luxembourg. With a population under 600,000, this small country offers high salaries and a robust social security system to assist its voters once retirement. However, before you jump to the conclusion that cash is truly shopping for happiness in Luxembourg, the country has several different parks that don't have anything to try and do with money, as well as a great healthcare system and excellent work-life balance, probable thanks to the necessary mandatory weeks of vacation time. 5. Netherlands. The biggest stat from the Netherlands this year? That its happiness levels have barely modified, we're talking but 0.03%, between 2005 and 2021. And in the Netherlands, it seems, happiness starts young. A 2013 UNICEF report rated Dutch youngsters the happiest in the world and supported a variety of metrics related to instructional well-being, safety, and health. 4. Switzerland. Switzerland, which was born one spot this year, may be a country wherever everything is voted on, from what number of vacation days staff ought to get to what number of immigrants ought to be allowed into the country, and referendums right down to the native level happen again and again a year. This method of direct democracy means Swiss voters feel an incomparable sense of participation in their country's evolution. 3. Iceland. Iceland ranks high in terms of the proportion of respondents who said they felt like they'd a fellow subject to judge once the going gets rough. This maybe became most evident in the wake of the country's post-2007 monetary collapse and resulting revivification. You'd suppose that the perpetual flood of American tourists into the port might need to deal a blow to the residents' happiness. It needs to be a bit tougher to induce that dinner reservation than it want to be, once all. But once it involves well-being, the Icelanders are unfazed. 2. Denmark. Denmark remained in the range 2 spot this year. The country rates close to the highest all told the rumored metrics, life expectancy, social support, and generosity among them, but it's conjointly a rustic massively committed to renewable energy production. 39.1% of its energy was wind generated in 2014. 1. Finland. For the 5th year in a very row, Finland is favored once it involves happiness. The country systematically ranks among the highest education systems in the world, sometimes beaten out by countries like South Korea, Japan, and Singapore. Abundant of that success comes from a widespread reverence for lecturers, who are needed to own a master's degree, their education is state-funded, and an education system that focuses less on quantitative testing and additional on experiential learning and civil right. Thanks for watching.